Hello everybody, welcome to part 8 of Dark Souls with Funzyr. This is my beginner's guide to how to start out, how to learn the game and the mechanics for new people so that you can get into the series and really enjoy it on your own. I took the liberty off camera of farming some large titanite shards, and then I ran back here.
Why, that's a fine ember you have there. I could smith some mighty weapons with one of those. Why not lend it to me?
Yes, we will.
Magnificent! You won't be disappointed. I can hardly wait to get started.
So the large titanite shards allow us to take our halberd from +5 to +6. I think we're just going to use the halberd for the rest of the game. I'm not really a fan of the moveset of the Baldur's Side sword. And then we can reinforce our halberd. It takes 9 shards total to go from +5, or 9 large titanite shards to go from +5 to +10. So as you can see, we have that. I farmed about 100,000 souls. So what I did was I put 10 points into endurance, a couple of points into dexterity, and a couple of points into vitality. We're now level 40. We were level 22 before. So that should give us a little bit more protection. I also farmed some humanity. As you can see, I have hard humanity. I've switched that into my quick slot because as I increase my humanity, I'm actually going to be have more defense and item find. The next thing I want to do now is I actually want to go over here. I don't want to fight the other boss in this other area yet, but I do want to go over here and get the bow that we're going to use for the rest of the game so that I can start powering that up. As you can see, we do significantly more damage now. Again, these trees drop a lot of moss, so we're gonna need that lot moss later, but for now we'll just stick with what we have. There we go. So I'm going to rest over here, and I'm going to show you guys a way to farm souls if you want in the future. We're currently playing offline because going into this area in human form basically cries out for PvP. There are constantly people that are invading. So I don't want to actually fight anybody or anything right now. We'll come back later for the boss, but the bow that we want is in here. So when you get down to the bottom of these steps, if you look around, it's hard to see, but right over my head in the picture, you can see a guy. There's actually another guy that's really hard to see that's just up here. And there are 3 others. Now the second guy that I just mentioned, he doesn't respawn, so he only spawns once. What we're going to do is, there you go, now you can see him. Shield up and backstab. And then circle around behind him and backstab. What I do is I get next to him, and then as I continue to circle, I hit R1, and that's what gives me the backstab. So he doesn't respawn. I'll show you now a way to farm these guys without a whole lot of threat to yourself. So what we'll do is we'll come up here, activate that guy, and then we'll come across and around here. The only threat is from that guy right there that just joined up. He's almost invisible, but the only threat is really from him, and that is because if he backstabs you, he will come very close to killing you. So you come over to this corner, and usually one of them will come and try to attack you and fall off over your head. And then what happens then is they all activate, and they all try to get you. But it looks like they're backing off for now. Oh, here comes the cleric. And it looks like everybody else backed off. Alright. Give it a moment and see if any of them reactivate. Alright, I don't see any of them coming. So, that's how you do that. And sometimes they all come, sometimes just one or two come. Really, they're not too bad. Once you have a plus 10 weapon, they're really not too bad to fight one-on-one. You just have to pull one at a time. And sometimes you push them off anyway. There you go. So, 2 more left. This guy is, in my opinion, the more difficult guy to fight. Straight up. But as you can see, he has no poise, so as long as you can keep attacking him, it's not too bad. Alright. There you go, that's everybody then. I'm sorry, I forgot we already killed the cleric. If you come over here, and you look up here, there's a cat. If you talk to the cat will let you join the Covenant. The rest of the level's over this way, and we'll actually do that later at the proper time. For now, our goal is to go over here and get our bow. Our bow is guarded by 2 NPCs, and if you join that Covenant, then they don't aggro on you, and if you fight them, they'll kick you out of the Covenant. So you see this person right here. And there's the other one over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to back up and then circle and get a backstab. That's the goal right now, is to just get that backstab. He's at slow roll, so he's actually really easy for us to beat, unless if we try to trade hits with him. Oh! See what I said about trading hits? He does a lot of damage with that weapon, so we don't really want to trade hits with him. And I thought I was quick enough to get the attack off and put my guard back up, but I was wrong. You're never safe in this game, and no matter how good you are, the game will always prove to you that you're not as good as you think you are. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try to show you how to get these guys to come again. So what we'll do is we'll just start sprinting here. Oh. Alright. So we'll start sprinting here, activate him, and then we'll come around the corner. And you don't want to sprint the whole way. If you do, then you can lose aggro on them because you get too far away. But you want to get here soon enough to set up. It's always best to have your shield up because you don't get staggered as much when they fall. Alright. And I'd like to target them because sometimes you'll turn and your shield will protect you. One more guy waiting out there. I see he's just walking around, so we will go get him since he doesn't want to just be killed by us. And there he goes. Alright, so total souls you get from these guys is 7,000, which isn't a bad amount for now. It's pretty good. If you want to do that run a few times, you can get, right now, you could get one level every 3 or 4 runs. We got our stuff back. Now we want to just run over here. Alright, there he is. This time, we'll play more defensively. So let's run over here and get away from the bow wielder. Keep our shield up and circle for that backstab. And he's dead now. Okay, that time worked out much better, guys. The secret is always be defensive. So now we put up our shield because the bow wielder is going to be out here waiting to shoot us. And this one also is sort of invisible. Keep your shield up and backstab. You always lose your target when you backstab, so I always hit my R3, and that way I know if I target them, they're still alive, because that last guy had just a sliver of health, and if I would have left him for dead, then he would have turned around and killed me. So the black bow of Ferris is exactly what we wanted. That's the bow that we were going to use. And we're done with this area for now. There's a lot more to do, but we'll come back to it later. I'm going to run back to Andre, so I'm going to cut that part out because there's no need for you guys to watch this. Alright, we're back to Andre now. So what I'm going to do is equip the Black Bow of Ferris. As you can see, it has a lower base attack, but it has an S scaling with dexterity. So for now, it's going to do just slightly less damage than what our longbow is, according to the math. See, 36 plus 105 versus 34 plus 102. And the reason that the longbow is a little bit higher is because it has better strength scaling, and I'm not exactly sure how strength versus dex works, but it seems to me like strength scaling has a higher increase. So we're going to equip the Black Bow of Ferris. The best thing that it does for us, though, is that it gives us a farther range.
Well, you need it.
So let's go ahead and reinforce it up to +5.
Don't get yourself killed.
And as we get large shards, we will modify it and then reinforce it up to +10. The next stop for us is going to be Blighttown. So I'm going to run back that way. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out, the whole run down through the depths until I get to the last bonfire there. Alright everybody, we're back. I'm just going to show you real quick. I got back online. We're going to use our white sign soapstone and hope that we get summoned pretty quick. I just want to show you how to do the Gaping Dragon with another player. Hopefully we can do it co-op, and you can see that you can get a decent amount of souls from it. So we're just gonna kill a couple things while we're waiting and see how that goes. When those slimes raise up like that, you can't stun them. Their poise becomes unbreakable. So you want to be able to, you want to save enough stamina so that you can dodge those attacks when they do come. I like to go side to side because it makes the slime keep turning, so it gives me just that little bit of an extra edge. Anyway, after we finish this rat run, if nobody summons us, we'll just proceed on to the next area. Don't forget the rat comes out of this box. You see how I almost just got poisoned after one single bite from the little rats. Their bites are more poisonous. Our summon sign disappeared, so I'm going to drop it again. You see, we do significantly more damage now. Circle them, and then stab them when you get an opening. Now, you're probably going to want to practice a few times just to get the timing of their movements down. But after you get them down, it's really easy to do this actually on a much lower level. When we slide down here, our summon sign should disappear again. Nope, I was wrong. Okay. Just a couple more kills. And there we go. Alright. So, let's go and start the next area. I was hoping I could show you that. If you'll recall, when we killed the Gaping Dragon, we got the key to Blighttown here. Most people really dislike this area, and it can be very tricky for a newer player. I'm going to try to go slow so that I can show you some of the tricks. But I'm also going to try to show you where you can skip different things as well. First things first, let's take this guy out from up here. He can't hit us, so there's no reason not to just shoot him and kill him. It makes everything else so much easier. I've been knocked off of that tiny bridge that he's on way too many times. Apparently he became impervious to my arrows for a moment. And last shot. In this area, when you see torches by the edge, that usually means that there is a ladder. This big torch like this does not mean a ladder, but the little torch like this one means that there's going to be a ladder usually. Now here's where our black bow of Ferris is going to start to be useful, because I don't have to get close enough to pull both of those guys just to get this one, and to get him with full power on the bow. So run up, hold your shield up, and circle, backstab. These guys are parry, and they're parryable and repostable. However, the chance of you failing makes it very dangerous. So I recommend personally Shield up, run towards them, circle, and backstab. And one more. So, if these guys drop anything, it's just a dung pie. A dung pie will put toxin on your enemy, and it'll also make you more toxic as well. These guys have a grab attack right there. When they do that, put their hands up and they start like roaring at you, that's when they're going to do their grab attack, and you can't block that attack. But they have no poise, so a quick stab to the face and they'll be down. Let's see here. You can't really see him too well, but right there is a guy that shoots a toxic dart at us. So we're going to try to shoot him from here. You can see my hit points are going down pretty quick. So what we're going to do then is we will use a blooming purple moss clump. And then we'll use the humanity to heal up, because we're not in battle. Humanities take longer to use than flasks. So I like to use flasks in battle and humanities outside of battle. That's the main reason that I like to farm them. Also, humanity will always fill you up to full health, whereas the Estus flask has a set amount of healing that it will do to you. Alright. So we've gotten... this top platform is now cleared out. But when we go over here, we will trigger these guys to come at us. And it looks like that guy's not coming yet. So we can go over here and oh, sometimes you can catch him. That was that grab attack I told you about. You gotta be careful of that grab attack, because it will do significant damage to you. Grab that soul of a proud knight, because you always need more souls. Those two guys followed us from the platform over here that we're going to now. But before we walk over there, I just want to show you real quick. If you come down here, there's an item down there that's a very good dex weapon, but you have to jump, and you have to land that jump onto that platform. And to me, it's not worth it, because it's comparable to a katana that you can easily get. You can buy those if you join the Forest Hunter Covenant, which is where you talk to the cat. Alright. We will go around this way. There's a nice optical illusion here, because if you look at it, it looks like it's kind of closed off until you get closer. Then you see that there's room to run through. and we can get down here and get the shadow garb. Shadow equipment weighs a lot less than the night stuff that we've been using, but on the other hand it gives us less protection and it gives us no poise. Ferris's hat that we got before, it doesn't do any bonus for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the head and the hands and the legs. That'll be our gear, and that'll get us to quarter roll. In fact, we can get just a little bit more. Perhaps the hands. Let's see where that puts us. I think we are just a little bit over. Okay, so let's go back to the shadow gauntlets. They'll give us the best protection for our weight. And once we level up a little bit more endurance, we'll be able to equip the other gauntlets, the night gauntlets. So if we fall down here instead of climbing down that ladder, we're rewarded with the soul of a proud knight. And as we come over, we can get a good view of what's coming up ahead of us. You can just run off of here. And then right on the edge here is this. There's the dog. There are actually a couple of fire-breathing dogs in this level, and all of them are tough. They are all a pain in the butt at best. There's the fire. Alright, so we got him. Something smashed above us, huh? Missed my first stab, but he wasn't ready yet, so it was okay. There's a bonfire here. This bonfire, I've never really used it. If we go over here, you look up there, that's the platform that has the Yato in it. As I said before, it's not really worth it, in my opinion. So here's this guy. And his buddy's down there too. They drop souls of the lost undead, large souls of the lost undead, or of a lost undead. And they're nice. They give you some extra souls, but overall. Alright. Down here, there are no more enemies. If you walk carefully out here, you can grab this item, which is the blooming purple moss clump, which we need. We need that for the toxic that we get. Also, something I'd like to show you is under options, I have camera auto wall recovery turned off. Because if you have it turned on when you walk under things like we just did, like right here, it would actually kick the camera over here, and then all of a sudden you'd be walking sideways. This bridge, you're going to want to take slow or fast. But it moves as you walk across. And it will move out from under you. As soon as you get across, there's a fire-breathing dog. There we go. Oh, now we got him. He was not very nice to us. Alright, so by coming down here, there are no real items down here, but you do get another view of what's coming up. It says try jumping. I'm gonna go with no on that one, because as you can see, it's a long way down. But by coming across here, carefully run up here, and you're rewarded with the humanity. May or may not be worth it for you. I find them useful, especially as we get further into the game and the Estus Flask doesn't top you off. Alright. So try to stop moving at the points where the bridge doesn't move as much. That way you're less likely to get knocked off as it moves. So we'll head back up here. We're going to do a little bit more of this area and then we're going to call it. Blighttown's a big area, so it's going to take at least one more episode before we can defeat it. Now the reason I don't like that bonfire very much is because it respawns all these guys, including the dogs, which, as you can see, the dogs can tend to be tricky at times, and other times they're just very easy. It depends on how they move. There's a guy in a barrel. He's just hanging out there. We can kill him, or we can let him live. I chose to kill him. Just come over here. Grab this. Now, the planks here, you can see they look very different from here. If you go on them, it'll drop you down to the area. They'll actually break, and it'll drop you down to the area that I ran across that shaky bridge on. But if we come back up here, this is just where we fought a couple of these guys. This is the top platform of the area, so that's how you can get back if you need to. I recommend not falling on those planks because you will take a lot of fall damage. Alright. Also, it's not a whole lot of danger of falling off of the bridge up there because you do have this platform underneath that you'll land on. Now, let's head over here. See if we can make any new friends. I'm going to start by running out. And we're already toxic. He's right up there, and 2 shots will kill him for us. And let's use our blooming purple moss clump. And then we can head back over here. That guy's waiting around the corner to jump you. So walk across this bridge, and you can see that guy down there. There we go. So now that we have our bow of Ferris, we can shoot him. His damage pops up way above his head, so you won't actually see how much damage you're doing. But you're definitely hitting him. You can see the arrows sticking in his body as he rides. Alright, I'm going to show you another way to kill him also. And that'll happen in just a moment here. We need to make sure that we kill these guys safely before this game shows us who's really boss. Alright, I think he's gonna stay down there, but he's coming up. Okay, let's go down here and around this corner here, and there's a blow dart guy. And also, if you come around this corner, there's another guy waiting to jump you. Don't forget, toxic lasts for 3 minutes if you don't dispel it with the moss clump. That eagle shield used to be an overpowered shield, but now it's no longer quite as good. You can block the same percentage of damage with the shield that I'm using, and it weighs less. The only difference would then be stability. That'll show him. Okay. For the next part, you can just see the troll, or what are they called? They're called berserkers or something, around the corner. We'll deal with him. We'll dispatch him in a minute. Let's get up here. And this is how you get around to the other side of that big octopus squid looking thing. Dispatch these two guys. Run around. Down the ladder. He takes a lot more damage, obviously, from our halberd, but in the end, he's guarding a pyromancy, power within. This pyromancy is very strong if you know how to use it. Otherwise, it can weaken you pretty quickly. Oh no! I will cut out the run back from there. Alright, so here we are, back where we were before. I just have a few more enemies to kill before we end this episode. I just wanted to see what we can do. Alright. He can hit you from underneath. So what we're actually going to do is just run past him, and then he shouldn't bother us. Go through the white light. And he just dropped to his own death. I think. No, there he goes. Wow, he got lucky falling on this. Okay. So, here's the deal. From here, we can go this way. Or we can go down here and we can get a whip. The whips are not a very good item. So, in my opinion, it's not generally worth it to do that unless if you're speed running. But here, I'll see if I can get the angle so you can see that. There you go. There's the platform right down there. So, I'm going to call it for this episode. Thank you all for coming with me. Have a good day. And we'll continue the journey next time.